All right. Well, it's great to see everyone. Thank you for jumping on. Sorry if we kept you waiting. For those of, I know Al Guido, president of the San Francisco 49ers. Really excited, unanimous vote from the owners and members of the National Football League to award the Bay Area Host Committee and the Bay Area Super Bowl 60, which will take place in February of 2026. For us, this has been about a year-long process that really started heating up in the last 6 months, planning efforts alongside of Zaileen Jen-Mohammed, who you're going to hear from here in a second, who's the president and CEO of the Bay Area Host Committee. But we wouldn't have been able to do this without the support of the York family, all the members of the San Francisco 49ers, hosting an historic event like Super Bowl 50, where we believe everything went extremely well. We generated about $250 million of economic impact for the region. And so now it's awesome to be hosting this 10 years after that fact as we head into our 10th season this coming football year on the field. So for us, it's just it's a fantastic time, really excited. I would be remiss if I did not thank the entire Bay Area Host Committee board, inclusive of every single Bay Area host team. Daniel Laurie, who did an amazing job for Super Bowl 50. We redid the Super Bowl Host Committee and the Bay Area Host Committee, and without all of those members, this would not be possible. And a specific thanks to Joe Lakeup, Brendan Schneider, Larry Bear, everybody that are located in San Francisco that have allowed us to use their venues or the potential to use their venues for events that will take place along the waterfront is really exciting. So thank you all for being here. If you don't mind, hold questions for a second as I turn it over to Zaileen. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Zaileen Jen-Mohammed, President and CEO of the Bay Area Host Committee. I'm very, very happy to be here and so excited to be able to announce Super Bowl 60 coming to the Bay Area. I wanted to express my gratitude to the NFL for the opportunity, to the 49ers, and definitely to Al for ushering us along here, and to all of the public servants and elected officials, business owners, and of course, all the fans who have made this possible. For me, today has been a reflection of what I've known for a really long time and the reason that I'm here, that the Bay Area is an incredible city and region, and that we have a really great sports town and sports environment. I'm excited to see how we pull Super Bowl 60 together. Al mentioned a couple of these things. The Bay Area Host Committee was supported by a board of directors that included every single professional sports team in the Bay Area. That's unprecedented. And that team was fully engaged throughout this process, and has been a set of advisors that I've leaned on extensively. The bid was also supported by public servants and elected officials at every level of government from across the Bay Area and California, also unprecedented. My vision for the host committee and for Super Bowl 60 is to inspire a cultural movement in our region. I think that we have the right know-how, we have excitement and anticipation in our communities, and we are at the heart of Silicon Valley. And so the excitement I think that the NFL also has is our ability to create what's next in the areas of fan engagement and fan excitement. The Super Bowl is an incredible economic opportunity for the region. As Al mentioned, Super Bowl 50 delivered nearly a $250 million impact to the Bay Area. And we want to make sure that the Bay Area benefits the same way, if not more, from Super Bowl 60. For those of you who have this sitting in their head, 2026 is going to be an amazing year for our region. It's the same year that San Francisco turns 250 years old. And it's also the year that we will host FIFA World Cup matches. And so with the addition of hosting Super Bowl 60, we have this incredible opportunity that doesn't really exist anywhere else, to unite the entire region with sport across multiple sporting events. I'm ready and excited, and we're going to do this with all of you, and we're going to do it together. Thank you.
So I think, Ellie, I see hands raised, so I'll just call on the hands. Let me get it in gallery view here so I can see all the hands, if you don't mind. First, I will turn to Mr. Branch. Good to see you, Eric.
Hey, Al. And can you, as much as you can, kind of detail, how this might be split up as far as the activities and where the teams play and practice? Obviously, 10 years ago was very much a joint partnership between San Francisco and South Bay. So
Yeah, Eric, I can't get into where the teams will practice today, but certainly all of the locations, both San Jose, Santa Clara, San Francisco, are all involved. What I can say, Eric, is in the events that will take place leading up to the game itself, the majority certainly will take place in the city of San Francisco. Really appreciate Mayor Breed and her support. You may see a shift. I mentioned it in my opening remarks. You may see a shift of focus from where we hosted it before to maybe more of the waterfront now that we have the Chase Center, which wasn't there for Super Bowl 50, et cetera. We're still working through it. As you all know, we have a couple of years now. So some of the infrastructure that may be in place by 26 might be different than what it stands today. And so there is no confirmation yet on where the team's sort of practice sites are, although we do have, as you mentioned, the areas in which we hosted for 50, those are on the docket, but they have not been officially selected by the league to date. I will turn it to Mr. Barrows.
Could you discuss the changes, alterations, upgrades that need to happen to Levi Stadium and whether there's a timeline for those at this point?
Matt, I appreciate bringing that up. There's been, and big thanks to the city of Santa Clara as well. There has been major changes on fan experience infrastructure, really dating back to our opening in 2014. At this point, we've probably made over 150 changes to the stadium, some small, some very large. I think you all reported on at the NFL annual meeting that the 49ers received a VTS waiver to make about $125 million worth of infrastructure additions to the building. And so this has been a continuous process. The York family and the city of Santa Clara have continued to invest in this building since we hosted Super Bowl 50. And so, Matt, all told, I think that the number that we showed to the ownership today was that by the time we host in 2026, about $175 million of infrastructure investments have been made to support fan experience and major events. I'll turn it to Mr. Cam.
Thanks, Hal. You talk about the infrastructure thing. I'm curious about the big project across the street. How far along will that be in 2.5 years? And then the other question I had was, it's the second Super Bowl for you guys. So is this a sign from the NFL that you guys are going to be part of this rotation that's usually South Florida, New Orleans, SoCal?
Cam, I'll start with the second question. I certainly hope so. I believe that, I think we all believe that when we set out to build Levi Stadium, we know the Bay Area had not hosted a Super Bowl since the one that was hosted at Stanford Stadium, and that you needed a facility that had the size and scale that this one had. And you're right, Cam, there's been a lot of changes that have happened around the facility and in general around the Bay. I think hosting this now in a competitive process 10 years after we hosted the first one, when you have other major markets that will continue to host both SoFi Stadium, Allegiant Stadium, et cetera, a lot has changed since we hosted. I do believe that this puts us, up for future Super Bowls. We got to pull this one off, and I know Zayleen's got a tall task in front of her. As it relates to the first question you asked, TBD, we continue to work with Related Santa Clara around what the development might look like. For those of you, and I know a lot of our beat writers come out to the facility quite a bit, you'll see that dirt is being moved on the site, that the areas in which we parked on, better known as the yellow lots to me, will hopefully have infrastructure being built on them. We do believe, Cam, that's a major addition to Levi Stadium and the fan experience in general. And so we know right now that it's a little bit of an inconvenience for parking because there are things under construction, but we think in the future, it will only enhance our efforts to book these large scale events similar to the Super Bowl and World Cup. Josh, I'll go to you.
Al, what things did you guys learn from Super Bowl 50 that you can take and sort of maybe improve on the experience for this time?
Josh, we certainly heard about location, travel, back and forth. A lot of it from you all who have to, sort of dual. You're covering the Super Bowl and you're covering the participating teams. So we've talked to the city, California Highway Patrol, if we are to host things in the South Bay, what that might look like. I think there's a lot of learning from that, Josh. I think some of the other learning is frankly working with the city of San Francisco. Good news is they know how to put on parades and large scale events. So this is not new to them. But I do think moving some of the center of gravity closer to the water aids a little bit in the security nature of the event, doesn't necessarily shut down elements of the city that were probably shut down during Super Bowl 50, where we may have heard some feedback on that from frankly people that had to go into the offices or just generally work a work day. Those are really the big ones, Josh. I would say just on the logistics part of it. I will go back to Eric.
Y'all mentioned representation from all the Bay Area professional sports teams on the host committee. Can you detail who those people are?
Yeah, I'll turn it over to Zaleen. I certainly can too, but go ahead.
Hey, Eric. Yep. Let me go through the list. So from the team perspective, we have Brandon Schneider from the Warriors, Larry Bear from the Giants, Jonathan Becker from the Sharks, Jared Shawley from the Earthquakes, Allie Wagner from the new NWSL team, and David Cavall from the Oakland Athletics. I think I caught all the teams. Did I get them all?
Yeah.
I think I did. And then independent board directors, Al mentioned Daniel Laurie, who chairs our board. So CEO, founder of Tipping Point, Ahmad Thomas from the Silicon Valley Leadership Group, Sephora Herman from previously from LA 28. And that's our board.
Thanks.
Yep.
Turn it over to Mr. Barrows. Try to fit our.
One more stadium question. I know that there was some talk for the last Super Bowl of kind of augmenting the total attendance possibilities there. Wondering if any of the infrastructure changes, alter the numbers as far as, how many people are there, and whether, the number that you're aiming for the Super Bowl is the same that you're going to have for the World Cup.
That's a good question on the World Cup, Matt. We have not had that level of detailed conversation. There's still a lot to be learned on the World Cup. I think has been reported, and Zaleen can talk a little bit more about this, but the draw will happen in September there. So we'll know how many games we host, the level of games, et cetera. As it relates to the capacity for the Super Bowl, what we've discussed is the same, if not a little bit more, Matt. So there's not a reduction in capacity. I think you all know, for Super Bowl 50 on the two plazas, that was where the media compounds and or the media representing the games. We've discussed that not being the case to go around and having a build out that's a little bit different than what happened for Super Bowl 50. So call it that 72,000-ish range, if not more, for this event, for the Super Bowl event. Cam.
Yeah, you guys talked about having the unilateral support from pro teams and the politicians. So I know things have been dicey between the Niners and city of Santa Clara. So I want to know how this has worked out just with the Super Bowl and the World Cup coming back to Levi's.
I can start, Cam. So I can't say enough about the support from our local community, and frankly at the state level too. Dating back to the Super Bowl, we had a presentation in the city of San Francisco that frankly had the entire Bay Area caucus supporting, all the way down from the governor's office. And so we've seen a lot of correspondence back and forth, nothing but support. I love seeing some of the tweets that are being sent out now from some of our local officials. We can't thank them enough. We know, this is a big event. It's bigger than just for 49ers fans. And we know what our region, what our region went through for the pandemic. We see it every single day. Being able to bring a Super Bowl and a World Cup in the same year, no one will ever do it. And we will. We know that the tall task that means on putting this on, we would not have been able to do it without all the support. I'm very thankful to the city of Santa Clara and what they've been able to do to support us in those efforts. And as Zaleen mentioned, for me, one, recruiting Zaleen here, who has immense experience putting on Olympics, working with Visa. She came here from LA 2028, where she led that planning effort. Cam, this is going to take a world-class team to do it. And I believe in my team at the San Francisco 49ers, but frankly, we need a whole lot more. And it was good to see the other Bay Area team step up to support. Z, anything to add?
No, all I would say, Cam, is, I've been in the job for a couple months, 2 or 3 months, and have already spent a lot of time with the city of Santa Clara. They were fully supportive for the Super Bowl bid, and we are in ongoing conversations now on just how to operationalize both events. And so those will continue as we move forward.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Oh, sorry, let me check out the chat just to make sure. Oh, no, it's just Ellie.
Ellie keeping us all on track.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, I would just, in closing, thank you all very much. Look forward to providing more, additional details to all of our local fans, but everyone that's interested in the Super Bowl and the World Cup for that matter. 49ers.com, Bay Area Host Committee website. As we get additional details, as we confirm locations for some of the fan events, we will be posting it on those websites. So thank you all for your coverage. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.